Hello everyone, welcome back to the Mount Tammany Ridge channel. I hope you guys are all having a decent weekend. Finally back here at home, actually doing something related to the farm that I live on. And so today we're going to be doing some tree work here. Nothing fancy. We got some pretty dangerous trees here along the arena that I had mentioned in an earlier video. We're finally getting around to prepping for the big drop. We had a large ash tree here alongside the arena, and it's the most dangerous part of the whole project. However, all the other dead trees alongside of it, we got these junk trees. I think they're called Atlantis trees or tree of heaven or something like that. But the way they grow is like weeds, and they all get their tops almost intentionally, I think, tangled up so that they become almost like a really big tree / hedgerow or something. And you almost can't take one down at a time. They're all intertwined. And their root systems are very frustrating to deal with. They actually have like a J style tap root, and it goes down and it hooks a 90 typically. And if it's a standalone, it just hooks a 90 and it acts like a hinge. And it's usually the hinge, the way it would allow the tree to fall when you push it with an excavator. It's always gonna fall in a direction that you can't push it, whether it's into another tree or whatever. They grow, they're very strategic the way they grow. It seems very intentional. Either that or their root systems actually grow together beneath the surface and just complicate things that way. So anywho, that's what we have going on here today. I'm going to get all the ones surrounding the big ash tree out of the way, and then either today or another day I'll actually drop the big one and see if we might be able to get some decent firewood out of it, if not bundlewood. So let's get to it. All right, everybody, it's now the next day, and it's one of those days where the temperature it's kind of in that weird area where it's sometimes too hot and the breeze comes through, and then you're too cold. So as you can see, I got my my little beanie here at the ready to pull it down and keep over my ears when it's necessary. So let me turn you around and show you how far I got yesterday and what left I have to do at this point. All right, so while the excavator's warming up, so there was a real fatty here. I took that one down first, and then throughout here there was a bunch of smaller ones that I could just push over with the excavator. There was a couple cuts I had to make, and then down here, hopefully you can hear me over the machine, there's a couple cuts I had to make there. There was one in there, it was about, I don't know, 18 inches in diameter. You know, the stumps is not a problem. This is, you know, real close to the edge of the open area of the property here. All that wooded area, we don't really care what happens in there. So that's about a, I don't know, 13, 14 inch tree. And there's one down there that broke off a long time ago. I don't know if you can see it, it's right there. And then we got this one. So this one here, I would say, is probably around 28 to 30 inches in diameter. And this one here is the big one. This one's, you know, around 40 or so inches in diameter here at the base. And that's a monster ash. Goes way, way up. I'd say the very top, the very highest point on this ash is probably 65 feet, maybe 70. Probably around 65. And that one, unfortunately, hopefully the sun doesn't bleach out, but we got to drop it out into the arena here. That's probably not getting done today. Might do it later this week or this weekend coming up. So the objective today is these two here, okay, and this one here that's around a 28 inch or so. We're going to be pushing that way on an angle, okay, into the woods. And these two you can see are going up and they're leaning back, right? They're leaning this way. That's a problem. Now, we want them to go that way, ideally. So these trees here are all tied together all the way up top with a whole bunch of vines and crap, okay? So that tree, you know, is connected to this tree via vines and all that. So my hope was to take the excavator and push this tree into that tree and then push them both over at the same time. But I don't know. That's what I'd like to do. The other thing I could do would be to drop them this way, hopefully on the other side of that corner post on the arena and down there, because that's kind of sort of where they want to go. Still not off the table as what to do. I just I don't know. I'll have to think about it. I might actually go and do that if I had a bigger excavator, you know, with more reach and a little bit more weight. I might do my initial plan, but we'll see. So I'm back here behind the arena, and you guys might find this a familiar location. This is where for quite a while I've been storing my my firewood bags and totes, and that will probably remain the same until further notice. We kind of thought we had a plan down there, but I seem to have an encroachment issue with my other family members. So anywho, so I'm down here, and here's a monster ash tree, and we're gonna be keeping that here hopefully forever. We'll have to see. But I'm sorry, that's not an ash tree. I believe that's a tulip. I could be wrong. Geez, I don't know. Having a hard time figuring that out right now. But anyway, so there's the trees I've been talking about, okay? And when you look up, that's the big tree to my right, and that's the tops of those trees. So I don't know. I think I might send them this way. They want to go this way anyway, right? Just do what makes sense and what's most safe. So I think what I'll probably do, I'll make my initial face cut and back cut on this little tree, and then I'll make my face cut and back cut on the big tree behind it, and I'll let the big tree push the little tree this way. Let's see how it happens. Hopefully it happens just the way I explained, otherwise I don't have a whole lot of room to run away in there. I might make mention before I move forward right now, I'm gonna have to take a little bit of time with the excavator in here, and clean up around the base of these trees. One, to give myself room to make my cuts, and two, a little bit of an escape route.
right, well, didn't go very smooth, I would say, but they are down. I don't know if you could see in the camera, but that first one that I finally got to set itself free by nipping the back cut just a little bit more, or I should say the hinge. Where the vines were caught up in that other half, it dropped the Widowmaker down. So that was my ultimate fear, was tripping over something over here and not being able to get out of there in time. But I was surprised when that second half, or that first half, came down, or I should say the first tree. I'm really surprised that whatever vines were there in the smaller tree didn't pull it the rest of the way. But on the far side of the stump, I had quite a bit of hinge left. It was pretty fat over there, but when that sucker first started going, I thought that was it. I was ready to go. But just a little bit of that hinge needed to be nipped. She finally went. I'm surprised there's enough hinge wood in there for that to have happened. That tree's been standing there dead for a long time. That being said, I think this bottom section of the tree, the main trunk, I think I'm gonna keep it for firewood. That's a good thing. So, all right, well, I gotta clean up this mess. Well, went pretty much where I wanted it to, and hardly any of it ended up in the spot where I was just goofing around with the excavator. Hardly had any mess end up out in the yard. So that's awesome. One less thing I gotta mess around with. Just a few minutes here and there, tidying that stuff up, just kind of sweeping it off to the side. But that worked out great. All right, so that is the next one. I'm not ready to do that yet. I mean, I am. That's what all this is about, is preparing for this felling adventure. That's a monster. I mean, the top of that excavator, the top of the ROPS there, I'd say is probably got to be 8 feet. That's a pretty darn tall tree. So, yep, that's the next one. But we're gonna do that another day. So hopefully you guys have been enjoying all this junk wood carnage. Some of this ash here from the twins I just knocked down just before this tree. Some of that ash is gonna make some pretty decent firewood, I think. It might be a little knotty. Looks like there's a few branches there, but I think for the most part, the 3 pieces that I saved will yield some sort of either bundlewood or firewood. So we'll have to see how much I can get out of that big tree. Who knows, the top might explode like China, but we'll have to see. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and hope you come along for the next one, which will probably be sooner than later. So you guys have yourselves a good night. If you like the content that you see here on the Mount Tammany Ridge channel, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, maybe share it with some friends that might be interested, and I'll see you guys on the next video.